Big County Preps, Preston Jackson here with your. We're gonna do this new segment. We're gonna call it 5 and 5. 5 topics, 5 minutes. Got to get them all in, and we're gonna start at the top with late known quarterback Michael Kern. Now, why is Michael Kern important in our area? Because Wiregrass Ranch will have to defend him come this Friday. Michael Kern, currently 304 yards per game in the air, is completing 66% of his passes, so the boy is good. He's not going to miss so much. He's got 39 touchdown passes, but Wiregrass Ranch has a chance to defend him. They have a good secondary, very talented, and they're going to need everything they can get to slow down those talented receivers of Lake Nona. 6 games with over 300 yards passing for Michael Kern, 33 for 52 for 337 yards, and was 64% completions against Wekiva. And if you know anything about Wekiva, their defense is awesome. He also threw 3 interceptions in that game. But in all 3 losses, he's completed less than 64%. Now, that sounds crazy, but just think about it. If in his losses he's completing less than 64%, that means in the 7 wins that he does have, he's been pretty doggone good all the way up to 80% passing. Let's go to number 4, Tampa Catholic versus CCC. Both teams chirping a lot on the timeline. They kind of don't like each other. This is maybe a better rivalry than the Jesuit game. No need to rehash what happened in the past, but the CCC Tampa Catholic game is going to be a good one, I believe. 25-0 the first time they met back in September. Tampa Catholic 7-3, CCC they're 9-0. Tampa Catholic scoring 32 points per game, while CCC scoring 32 points of their own. Charlie Dean, Tampa Catholic quarterback, completing right around 50% of his passes, has 5 INTs. He has to be good against the CCC defense, which turns over teams very often. And Johnny Newton, the big fullback, running back, nose tackle for CCC, is a monster, averaging 94.3 rushing yards per game. He's going to have to be contained if Tampa Catholic has any chance of defeating CCC the second time around. And this one definitely counts slightly more than the first one because it could end a team season. In the first meeting, CCC rushed for 370 yards and 4 TDs. That was our largest. That was our highest rushing output of the year. But TC rushed for 13 yards, but passed for 160. So if they have any place that they can expose, for lack of a better word, CCC will be through the air because it's going to be tough run. Let's move on to number 3. Gaither running back Jeremy Reed. Right over 1,000 yards for the season, 1,100 to be exact, 9 TDs, averaging 111 yards per game. Now, he doesn't have a game with over 20 yards rushing. Now, check this stat out. Gaither is 7-3. In all their losses, Reed had less than 16 attempts. 15 attempts in all 3, 15 attempts, and then 11 attempts in the other 2 losses. 85 or less yards. So if they want to beat Vieira, Gaither's going to have to give Jeremy Reed the ball between 20 and 25 times a game. Gaither is 7-3 with only 3 losses. When their all 3 losses have been the lowest rushing output they have put up this season. Jeremy Reed is the key for Gaither to continue their season against Vieira. They give him the ball. They have an awesome chance of winning. 20 to 25 numbers is what I would like to see Reed finish with. But that's just me. Let's move on to number 2, Manatee High School. 5-3, and it's crazy to see Manatee High School in this valley as they've had so many peaks over the years. Probably the 3rd best team in Manatee County right now if we're talking about the large classification schools. But let's just check this out. Manatee has 3 losses this year to Venice, Sarasota Riverview, and Palmetto. We can just chalk that up to those 3 teams being better than Manatee right now. But what's the difference? When they win, they run the football, and they run the football a lot. In the 3 losses against Sarasota Review, Venice, and Palmetto, they had 27 rushing attempts, 19 rushing attempts, and 17 rushing attempts, respectively. Just a few of their wins against Newsom, 34 rushing attempts for 205 yards, 4 TDs. Against Alonzo, they had 30 rushing attempts, 393 yards, and 9 rushing TDs. So, the ingredients for Manatee to defeat Kissimmee Osceola, which they'll see Friday, first round of playoffs, is to run the football no matter what. If it's working or not, they have to keep with it and be consistent. Let's go to number 1, the playoff system, which has been absolutely discussed till no end since the season started. For our area, it has worked out perfectly. Not many teams that did not deserve to be in the playoffs are in. Matter of fact, I would say none. I think that the only gripe that you can have is probably Eastlake, and we know their deal with the forfeitures would probably kick them out. However, if you take away their forfeitures, Eastlake would definitely be in, and we'd have the best teams in our area in. You'd have to come up with another gripe in order to tell me that our best teams are not in the playoffs. I think the playoff system worked out well, exactly what it's supposed to do. It rewarded teams for playing better teams, but the ingredient that people are missing is that those teams have to win. So you not only have to play good teams, you also have to beat good teams. 5-5, over and out.